Hey guys, I come to you today in euphoric shame. Watching that GameStop chart today, especially that last-minute run, it had me break a solemn bow. I have officially failed No Nut November, and I'm proud. That GameStop run had me busting nuts like I was performing for Brazzers. Regardless, today we have tons to talk about, so strap your seatbelts on and buckle up. Also, I made a really important video this morning, which I will link below in the comments for you in case you missed it. Before we begin, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's get started. Let's begin with the darker side of topics and work our way up to the better half of the news. So, you guys remember how yesterday we went over JP Morgan being fined a paltry $60 million business expense by authorities after they were caught defrauding their own customers, lying to them to manipulate precious metal futures and options. It was clear that they made tons of profits from such a scam, but we had no real estimate of how much they profited. Well, some figures came out today, and apparently JP Morgan made an estimated $20 to $30 billion in this criminal act. Compare that to the $60 million fine they got, and you start to realize why exactly institutions can't and won't stop committing criminal acts against their very own customers. This is not a political channel, as I find both parties to be equally corrupt, equally incompetent and equally useless. But something incredible happened today that we cannot ignore. President Biden tapped Jerome Powell for a second term as Fed chair today, a move that will help ensure some brownie points for his opposition. Biden stated, and I quote, "I am confident that Chair Powell and Dr. Brainard's focus on keeping inflation low, prices stable and delivering full employment will make our economy stronger than ever before, and together, they also share my deep belief that urgent action is needed to address the economic risks posed by climate change and stay ahead of emerging risks in our financial system." My question is, does Joe Biden know he's president? Is he aware that the comments he made in regards to Powell and Brainard's focus and ability to keep inflation and prices low are in direct contrast to their results they have produced for the past 2 years? Did this man did a line or smoked some good stuff before saying this crock of nonsense, or is he betting on Americans' ignorance to pretend that everything is okay and that this move is nothing more than an elaborate act to appease Wall Street, who have been the sole sector to have benefited from Jerome Powell's destructive policies? It is clear to me now more than ever that the current administration is working for Wall Street, as Jerome Powell has done absolutely nothing to help maintain order. In fact, his tenure as Fed chair has been surrounded by failures left and right, and has helped ensure an era of economic despair for millions if not billions around the world, as full economies struggle to stay afloat. The only thing he did successfully was protect Wall Street, insulating them from the bad economic blows which should have been shared with them as they were with us. Instead, Wall Street became ever more powerful, ever more greedy and ever more confident. I have absolutely no idea why anyone would nominate Jerome Powell for a second term, but at least I know exactly who Joe Biden is working for. A fat L for them really, and this comes from someone who tends to lean a bit more liberal on many issues. Keep in mind that this is a nomination, and that Powell's tenure for second term as chair isn't set in stone yet. What we did learn is who Biden is working for, and who he is willing to abandon for the sake of keeping the rich on top. But if you thought Biden and Powell to be disgraceful, wait until I tell you about Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and her ever more pathetic response to inflation. This goofy boomer made the most insufferable statement yet today, clearly indicating she needs to retire immediately as she clearly lives in another reality. Yellen said today that the Fed has a key role to ensure inflation does not become endemic, and that inflation itself is a major concern for most Americans. I mean, did she just discover this? Is this truly the benchmark for these public officials? To say the absolute most basic thing, to propose the most obvious and observable fact there is and make it seem like an accomplishment of sorts to acknowledge it publicly? I am truly speechless as to how low we have gotten as a country. If this is now a discovery for the head of the Treasury Department, ladies and gentlemen, take your money out of the bank and store it in a mattress. We are not going anywhere but to a head-on full market crash. Ensure your future in meme stocks and the rest of your savings in your mattress because the Treasury Secretary is clearly too cognitively incompetent to be in her position. Now, a quick little Evergrande update. China's Evergrande shares, which are worth nearly $1 billion, appeared in Hong Kong's central clearing and settlement system, a sign that their founder Wei Ka-yan may be pledging part of his stake as collateral for loans. Furthermore, Evergrande will be removed from the Hang Seng Index as previously reported last week. This company continues to devour itself from the inside out, something that I have no doubt the Chinese government is slowly architecting to plan their fall so as to not cause a full economic crash. They want all their assets to be resold to smaller companies that will offer a more competitive Chinese market rather than one huge conglomerate doing whatever they want, as Evergrande was for so many years. We have been calling these things out for weeks ahead, and I am happy to inform we have been on point all throughout this process. Now, let's talk about some really bullish stuff. First with AMC, as they were reported by Entrepreneur Outlet to be set to return to free cash flow profitability, and that they could rise to $52 just on this expectation alone. We have discussed to death the inner outings of AMC as a business, and I have always ensured myself to inform you guys as to why AMC is a great investment opportunity without accounting for its squeeze potential. I reasoned that with AMC growing in popularity over time, it would bring higher foot traffic to its theaters. Furthermore, the more people that go into AMC theaters, the more revenue they will have. As the company continues to enhance their revenue streams, they will continue to look outwards for new opportunities to bring in profits. We have seen this recently, with AMC announcing that they will be venturing into the popcorn business to bring the product to retail. We have seen them also enhance their advertising outreach, bringing people to join their loyalty programs which further bring in more revenue. There have been talks from AMC Adam Aron into issuing NFTs for movies as a memento for moviegoers. If they go through with this, it could bring in new profits. All in all, AMC is moving to take advantage of their newfound popularity and ensure a long-term profitability approach where they can take care of their debt and continue to be stable. It has been amazing to watch them grow so much, and I had said plenty of times before that as it continues to stabilize as a business, it will bring in more and more institutional investors. The more they do this, the more the media will have to switch stances and acknowledge that AMC is turning around and will be moving up. Now we are seeing the media starting to repeat what I have said, which is this. There is little to no doubt that AMC will become free cash flow positive at some point next year if they continue to perform as they have so far. AMC is not out of the woods yet, not even close. We have to be realistic if we are to fully comprehend what is happening. AMC still reported losses for quarter 3, albeit the improvement from quarter 2 was amazing. An important thing to remember is that AMC was almost profitable this past quarter, as opposed to the big loss it had last quarter. With this in mind, assuming that expenses continue to stay under control, the next quarters could start showing positive EBITDA profits and see the company finally become free cash flow positive. This would mean AMC would not have to run to outside sources to finance its operations. This is a monumental and pivotal point for AMC. This is when institutions will start coming in droves to buy the stock as it makes its way to full recovery from debt. This is the thing that we as investors need to keep a lookout for, because it is perhaps the most important moment for AMC as a company right now. For now, analysts are currently estimating revenue to be around $4.67 billion next year, 85% over estimates of the $2.53 billion in revenue for 2021. This expectation alone will have the stock price rise over time, so be sure to keep on buying at current prices because by all metrics, AMC is due to grow past $52 in a couple months' time, even accounting for shorter manipulation. AMC is in the woods, but it has found its light and mission in order for it to escape it. It's all a matter of perfect execution. I have no doubts that Adam Aron is the best man for the job, and have high expectations and little worries as to what the future holds for this great company. Stay bullish, buy this dip and enjoy watching your account grow over time. And now let's talk about something related to GameStop that ought to make your milkers go wild. GameStop has apparently tapped an AppleCare senior director to head their refurbished program. Randy Teal, who worked for over a decade at Apple, now shows his new role as GameStop's Vice President of Worldwide Refurbishments and Warranty on his LinkedIn profile. This is much bigger than you think, and here's why. A man that has a strong and successful career at one of the biggest and richest companies in the world does not leave it to get a gig at an apparent failing brick-and-mortar company like the media loves to tout GameStop. Would you leave your prestigious position at Apple to go work for GameStop if you thought it wasn't going anywhere? Get real for once and just admit it. GameStop is the next big thing and everyone knows it. More and more, their important positions are being filled by talented and experienced professionals that headed important departments at Apple, Amazon and Chewy among other notable companies as well. There is only one path ahead for this company, and that's the path to the moon. Do not sleep on GameStop if you want generational wealth. I bought a couple $1,000s worth of stock today, and will be buying more in coming weeks. Amazing how the media has been attributing today's big run in stock price to a tweet by Ryan Cohen saying he had a small wee. I can smell the desperation by the big media to try to paint this as manipulation in any way they can, when in reality all that this is boils down to the inability by shorters to fully control the price. As more people DRS their shares, shorters will have left to go around and manipulate prices. Let's now talk about today. The Fed submitted over $1.573 trillion in reverse repo operations today. Dark pool trades for AMC accounted for 63% of the total volume today, while dark pool trades for GameStop accounted for 51% of the total volume today. AMC had a larger amount of sell orders than its buy orders, with GameStop also having a larger amount of sell orders than buy orders. Now, let's talk about performance. AMC traded bullishly, gaining less than 1% for the day. It traded very bullishly during the pre-market, consistently breaking on top of the VWAP. Upon market opening, AMC ran to 42.99, showing a ton of momentum for the stock. After a small retracement, AMC started heading back upwards, seemingly to break the previous resistance and run again. However, such momentum would be easily broken by shorters who dragged this stock price back down to 40.32. After reaching that low, AMC had another run that took it to 42.47. It was then shorted again until the markets closed. AMC ended the day at 41.24, below the VWAP. As for tomorrow, expect support at 41, 40.29 and 39.66. Resistance will be met at 41.43, 41.80 and 42.50. It is clear that AMC was met with more manipulation, and they are trying to get this to break under 40 again. Take advantage of any and all dips if you can. GameStop traded bullishly, gaining over 8% for the day. It opened to a ton of volatility that took it from 230 to 244 during the first 5 minutes of trading. GME was then hit with a massive vertical short attack that took it back down to 231, but it would bounce back stronger, running to 246. After some retracements that took GME under the VWAP, GameStop came back again strong with a bounce that had it consolidating above it. As the day neared its normal trading hours, GameStop started running again, going from 240 and closing at 247.55, above the VWAP. As for tomorrow, support will be found at 243, 240 and 235. Resistance will be met at 257 and 261. What a monster run GameStop had today. There is nothing left to say but buy if you still can. I am finally a bit green on this one. And that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments below. Remember to watch the morning video if you missed it. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Enjoy the rest of your day and to the moon.